We begin right here in the United States. President Joe Biden has come out in support of Israel after the International Criminal Court's prosecutor sought an arrest warrant for Israel's prime minister and defense minister. Now, speaking at an event from the White House marking Jewish American Heritage Month, the president called the world's court's request outrageous and unacceptable. Now, despite frosty relations, President Biden strongly defended Israel in its war against Hamas, refusing to label the military operation a genocide.
Let me be clear. We reject the ICC's application for arrest warrants against Israeli leaders. Whatever these warrants may imply, there is no equivalence between Israel and Hamas. And it's clear Israel wants to do all it can to ensure civilian protection. But let me be clear. Contrary to allegations against Israel made by the International Court of Justice, what's happening is not genocide. We reject that. We're going to always stand with Israel and the threats against its security.
The commander-in-chief doubled down on his comments, pledging ironclad support to Israel in its war against Hamas.
And my commitment to safety of the Jewish people, security of Israel, and its right to exist as an independent Jewish state is ironclad. We stand with Israel to take out Sinwar and the rest of the butchers of Hamas. We want Hamas defeated. We'll work with Israel to make that happen. And consistent with Jewish values and compassion, kindness and dignity and human life.
And Democratic and Republican leaders joined President Biden in defending Israel against the World Court's arrest warrants for the Israeli leadership.
The ICC prosecutor's decision seeking arrest warrants for Israeli leaders alongside Hamas terrorists is not only profoundly unfair, but it is reprehensible. As disappointing as the ICC's decision is, it comes as no surprise, because for decades and decades, the ICC has shown it harbors deep biases against Israel. This decision, suggesting an equivalency between Israel and Hamas, is another glaring example of that bias against Israel.
In the same breath, the self-aggrandizing prosecutor of the International Criminal Court applied for arrest warrants for both Hamas chief terrorists and Israel's duly elected prime minister. It's a damning development.
Now, Republican lawmakers from Texas and New York even went so far as to urge President Biden to sanction the International Criminal Court and revoke visas of individuals involved in the investigation. The International Criminal Court's prosecutor had requested an arrest warrant for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Defense Minister Yoav Gallant on May 20th. The World's Court request also includes arrest warrants for senior Hamas leaders, including its group leader, Yahya Sinwar. However, despite Washington backing Israel, some nations actually celebrated the International Court's request. South Africa, which actually brought the genocide case against Israel to the World Court, has welcomed the prosecutor's announcement of issuing arrest warrants. And joining the African nation are Turkey, Colombia, Egypt, and France, the only Western power to back the World Court's request. From impeachments to inaugurations, if it's a political story, we are on the scene. The race for the White House is heating up.
We're beating Biden.
How dare he say that?
If it's breaking news, we're live with the latest coverage. From the White House, the State Department, and Capitol Hill, we know the issues, but above all, we know the players to bring you the latest in-depth analysis on all the key stories that we're covering. I'm Eric Ham. Join me from Washington here on Firstpost America.